Welcome to another episode, everyone. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. Excuse me, I do that every time. There in Centinela State Prison, a brutal stabbing took place between two allies, two Crips. One was a gangster Crip and the other was not, but he was indeed a Crip. Now, this transpired because of an incident that happened on the street. The individual who was just a Crip, these two gangs were allies. They all knew one another. They grew up together. And if you are in Los Angeles or from Los Angeles, particularly at this time, then you know what happened with this situation. Just like if you're from LA, then you know who unalived Biggie Smalls and Tupac Shakur. You just know. This situation that happened on the street was big news at the time because these two individuals, again, were from allied gangs. They were associates. They had a deal, a drug deal, going bad. Brother and a cousin. And they were dealing with this other individual. We're going to call him Ryder because he was indeed a rider. The deal went bad on the street. They had a shootout with one another. Ryder and the brother and the cousin. A couple of hours after the shootout, word is Ryder kicked in their door. Kids were in there. The mother was in there. He unalived the cousin, gunned him down, and nearly unalived the brother. Tried to. He just survived the attack, but he was never really the same. Now, Ryder has come and hit the yard. The story is a bit convoluted. It goes deeper than that, but people say that I carry on talking too long some of the time, so I'm just going to cut to the chase. Ryder hits the yard, and let's call him Keeper, as in my brother's keeper. He's the individual that's the gangster Crip, and he's also on the yard. And it's his brother that was nearly unalived and his cousin that was unalived. It's his mother's home that had been invaded, trespassed against. The door kicked in, bullets flying everywhere with children inside. No one else was hurt. Ryder came to get just his targets, those two individuals. Again, they all knew one another. They had grown up together, grew up together. They knew where one another lived, etc. They knew each other's family. Everyone knew who had committed this crime, everyone. Because they knew him. And they knew what happened a couple of days prior where they had a shootout. A day or so prior, 2 days prior, they had a shootout. But they did not delete Ryder. So he came back after the shootout, after they shot at him. He says they took his stuff, took his product, and then had the audacity on top of that to shoot at him. So this is a bit of a street story as well as a prison story, obviously. At any rate, Ryder is now locked up for this crime. And he hits Centinela State Prison. I am hard pressed to believe that the authorities there in the prison did not know that his now arch enemy was there on the yard. That this individual is locked up, being accused, having been found guilty by a judge, jury, prosecutor, police. They all said he did it. And y'all put him right on the yard with this man's brother. I don't believe that this was an accident, and oftentimes behind the walls, the police play these sort of games. You are on your own. Ryder hits the yard, And Keeper is there, chomping at the bit. He can't believe his luck. They done put this man on the yard with me after he done kicked in my door and let bullets fly everywhere. Unalived my cousin and tried to take out my brother. His brother, again, was in dire straits. Even then, he was not the same. Keeper had made up his mind immediately. This individual had to go. There's nothing to discuss and nothing to talk about. The only discussion was because these two gangs are allies. If you just go and attack Ryder, he's a reputable from his hood. He's even more of a reputable now, if I'm being honest, for what he did. As this is the gang culture, it's twisted. The more violent you are, the more respected you are. And the fact that individuals had tried to take him out, shot at him, but missed. And he came back less than 48 hours later, kicked in the door, and took care of business, if you will. Well, his stature has grown. In his hood, his rank has grown. He was already one of their main individuals over there. His comrades there on the yard have his back. They don't feel like he did anything wrong, even though these two gangs are allies. They are still saying, they shot at you. You did what you were supposed to do. You went back, kicked in the door, and got the two dudes that had just shot at you and tried to take your life. If you don't do this, they can come back the next day and try to finish the job that they had started. This is really self-defense as far as these individuals were concerned, so they have Ryder's back. Keeper's crew most certainly have his back. He's a Ryder as well. And it's his brother and his cousin, his family that had taken this loss. They understand his angst and his fervor to get at this individual. But the two cars agreed that they would let these two individuals handle it. I had never really seen anything to this point, or anything like this to this point, where the two cars would agree to let two individuals, one from each car, take care of business without the other car jumping in. Typically, if you attack an individual from another car, whether you are an ally car or not, that whole car is going to respond. Anyone who's right there when you attack one of theirs from their faction have to attack you. They have to respond. There are no head ups. There's no such thing. They're in prison. But they agreed because they're allies and they all know what happened. They said, let these two individuals handle it. Keeper worked in the laundry. And so he told Ryder, I'm going to get you called in to work. I'm going to get you called into the laundry like you're the homie or whatever, and I need you to come in there and help me out. You can do this. Be ready when you come in there. It's up. Just to cut to the chase, that was the conversation. Ryder, being the Ryder that he is, he didn't back down one iota and said, okay, call me in there and I'll be there. It's already understood that both of these individuals are going to have sharpened weapons. No one's going in there to fight. This is why they said they let them two handle it. We don't want to try to take out one another. We get along. This is really personal. This is this man's brother and his cousin. His mother was in that house. We staying out of this one. Keeper got Ryder called into the laundry, and Ryder came in there. He didn't waste any time. He whipped out his weapon. So did Keeper. And they went at one another without remorse, relentlessly attacking one another. They were both aiming for the head and neck area. And they were hitting each other. They were about the same size. They were both strong, had both been working out. And so they're sort of wrestling and grabbing and still stabbing each other. And no one is stopping it. Everyone is really thinking someone's not going to make it. One of these individuals are going to die. There's no way. We're out there on the yard. And rather than went into the line, we can all see this. We can see what's going on right there in the laundry. Eventually, finally, the lady that worked inside of the laundry hit the alarm, really saving one of these individuals, if not both of their lives. We hear the alarm. We know where the alarm is at. It's right there. And the police come running. Shh. They run in there. As they run in there, these individuals, you can see through the window, they're still swinging knives at one another. But they're both leaking badly, profusely, and they need medical attention fast, both of these individuals. And words are being exchanged, you can see, but I couldn't hear what was going on. But it's a lot of ruckus in there. Finally, they were able to break this up. Medical ran in there. The nurses, it was right there. They were a few feet away, a couple of doors down, medical. And they were able to get there fast, and they needed to, because both of these individuals were in dire need of medical attention. And got in there and started working on them, patching them up, putting their arms on them, trying to stop the bleeding from their wounds. They were both of the cars were right there. They kept their word. No one else jumped from either car. They let these two individuals handle that inside the laundry, and they were right there just making sure no one else did anything, both cars. And other than that, they, just like they had said, they were really allies with these. They kicked it together every day on the yard. They were really one and the same. They stood down. They were friends. They were brothers. They stood down and said, man, this is personal. This is not even no gang stuff. This was over a deal going bad, because we're homies. Even on the street, they were homies. They grew up together. We not enemies. This not no gang stuff. Our gangs get along. We're like one and the same. This was a deal going bad. Brother and cousin did what they did, tried to take him down. They missed. He came back. He didn't miss. Both of these individuals survived the vicious, bloody attack. Neither one died. Neither one lost their life. Their life, but it was bad. It was horrific. Neither one will be the same ever again. But both of these individuals were very strong individuals. Both of them are reputable individuals from their hood. They had a gripe, a beef, and they took care of it amongst themselves. It was bloody, and I'm glad that neither one of those brothers had lost their life, because it's not worth it. But I understand why it went down the way that it did. This was indeed personal for both of them. They were once friends. He was friends with the brother and the cousin. They were, stuff went bad, as it often does in the culture, in the criminal underworld of dealing. All sorts of things set in, greed and whatever else. The deal went bad. it went worse from there. Then, so it's just really bloodshed and bodies everywhere on the street and in prison. People were leaking and losing their lives over this deal that it went bad. It's not worth it. We have to be careful. Get out of the street. It's so ridiculous at this point. It's over with. It's watered down. It's trash. Be in prison, be in jail, and that's trash too. That's watered down and trash. No way. No. We want to stay out. So disinvolve yourself with the salacious things that lead you to prison because it seems so tempting and attractive now. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. It starts off looking well, but it ends badly every time. It's not worth it. Anyway, I don't want to preach, man. That's what happened. That's what happened there. They nearly took one another out. They did not. Both survived. Both received a lot of respect, and they still have a lot of respect, from my understanding, from their hoods. I know these individuals. So neither one backed down, and I'm glad that both of these brothers survived this attack. Stay safe and stay free. Ooh.